Hi everybody, it's Galactic Man Larry here again, and today we have in front of us from Power Rangers Lightning Collection or Power Rangers X Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Morphed Shredder, which is actually, I think, the first figure I will be reviewing from the Lightning Collection. I have almost all the Rangers from the Mighty Morphin, the very first Power Rangers, which is what I saw as a kid, and that's the only thing I really care about. But this one, I mean, mixes two characters that were favorites of mine, which is Shredder and the Green Ranger, and this design just looks really cool. So I'm opening this before opening any other Ranger, even if those have been around also for a couple of years or maybe a bit over a year, whatever. I'm opening this first. It doesn't matter. Well, it matters that it's a really cool figure. It looks like that. Look at that artwork. I don't know the name of the artist. If you know the name of the artist, please write it down in the comment section below. Cool, kind of simplified or abstract artwork, like vector art or something like that. Here's the digital render. Not much, just one image of the digital render. Legal stuff, Nickelodeon, Boom, Hasbro. Text, words, whatever. Let's take this guy out of the packaging and see how good he actually is. And there you have it, the Morph Shredder out of the packaging. And yeah, I removed some of the stuff he comes kind of wearing, you know, his cape and armor, because I just wanted to show, well, the figure itself, and that the head is sitting very high on that neck, or it has a very long neck. Yeah, because you have to put the armor and the cape and all of that. You have the shoulders, the shoulder plates here that you don't see when you're wearing the cape. They're of course a floating piece that turns around, but the butterfly joint here, this part, it has some kind of, well, the form it has, it makes it easy for this piece to stay in between, so you have to really push it a bit forward, push it and pull it a bit forward so that it doesn't, you know, otherwise it will kind of stay stuck like that. So I just push it a bit, pull it a bit forward, and yeah, but yeah, of course, just gently, you don't want to tear this soft plastic piece. But yeah, it's a really nice, that word, really cool sculpt. Let's check that helmet. Yeah, I know it looks ridiculous with that super long neck, but you can see both Shredder and the Green Ranger. But the cool thing is I see kind of more Super Shredder vibes with the dragon theme, which is of course the Green Ranger. But I mean, I like that it's more like Shredder-like, at least to my eye. But and you have, of course, I mean, he's an evil character, and he's purple and green, and, well, it's gold, yeah, but it's yellowish, so those are very typical, like, evil colors. He has a peg hole here in the back, so it's still full of water, because I had to put some parts in hot water to unfreeze them. But yeah, we bring the cape back on. It's a bit wet. I couldn't avoid it getting a bit wet. You have the golden shoulder and chest plate here from, I mean, that's typical Green Ranger, and later not only, but it's the first one who sported this kind of thing. And this piece has a peg, so that also fixes the cape in the back. You have the cape there with a hole which shows the peg hole in the back. You just slide this thing there, and anyway, once you have pegged this thing back in and made it kind of secure, we just pop the head back on, and there you have the figure how it should look like. There we can kind of avoid that neck looking super goofy. But yeah, I mean, I really like the design of this figure. Again, it's a very nice mix of both characters, but I see more Shredder in it, and that's exactly how I think they also were like, I mean, it has to be more like Shredder with hints of Green Ranger, and that's what I see, at least. It's cool that he has this diaphragm joint here, and also the ab crunch, so you can mix that. The diaphragm joint is just a bit, almost a bit too loose in my case, or not almost, it's a bit looser than well, I just took him out of the hot water, so maybe it will harden up a little bit. But in any case, he has, I would say, all the articulation you would like it to have. And just look at all the details. The helmet, I mean, it's like a headpiece, and the whole like samurai helmet thing is a second piece glued on top of it. So I like the way that did that. We saw already this is a separate piece, the shoulder plates and all of that. The claws in the hands, I mean the hands are of course in skin tone, but the claws are cast in silver, plastic, metallic gray and all of that, and they have, the gold is painted on, so that's cool. I don't know why they were so lazy to not paint the knee pads. They're supposed to be gold as well, and they just left them like in this yellowish, a bit slightly metallic, yeah, gold kind of, but it's weak. I like the fact that the morphing thing, that it's really nicely painted, at least in my copy. So otherwise, I mean, the green of course is just plain plastic shouting at you. Also this sash here, or the band, whatever it's called, the belt, you know, could benefit from a wash, but well, it's the way it is. I mean, if that had a wash, maybe the cape would need also to have some texture and shading or something, but it's a soft goods cape, and that would be, I guess, very expensive or whatever. Anyway, the figure as it is, it's actually really cool. We get as accessories the extra pair of hands. Those are fisted hands, which also come, I mean, they don't come like this in the box, they come separate, so that you see how generous they are. You get these blue kind of slash effects, or power lightning slash thing. I really like this, and they're perfect, or I guess they're made exclusively for this figure. Maybe they will use that in the future again, I don't know, but yeah. And of course the way you change the hands, it's, I should say right away, because I don't think I will pop the hands back again. All hands have a horizontal swivel, but he's not gripping any weapons, so that's okay. So you just pop them off and then put the fist hands in, and then you have Shredder sporting his power slash thing, and that's really cool. So there we have the Morph Shredder again. Now for articulation, let me just remove the power effects or the slash effects. As we saw, the head is on a ball hinge. You can play around with the ball peg, you know, so that you can move the head back and forth, so that you can maximize the range and make him really look a bit upwards. It's not much, but I mean, because the helmet gets in the way with the armor here. Looking down is no problem. Now the shoulders, again, they can go all the way around. They can lift up to, yeah, slightly over 90 degrees, which is good. You get to make like a bit of the, you know, the so-called T-pose plus, or actually it's just like 90. Let's say it's 90, maybe it's a bit like minimally above 90 degrees, but it's okay. You have a really functional butterfly joint. I mean, look how far he can move that arm backwards. You can see even the peg of the arm in there. That's maybe a bit too much, but hey, it's there. And you can move it forward that far. I mean, you can see the opening there. It really has, it's a butterfly joint that it's really doing something. Even if you don't like how that looks, you won't be looking at that, I hope. But yeah, it's functional. You have a bicep swivel that can go all the way around. You have pinless double jointed elbows, which have a really nice range for the size of the figure. They solved this one really good. Yeah, what else? And you have the fists that can turn all the way around and have a horizontal swivel, as I already said, and they have a nice ratcheted feeling there. Now, as we said, also he has this diaphragm joint here that can turn all the way around. He can bend forward that far, just a little bit. He can bend backwards that far, which is also just a little bit. He can bend a bit to the sides. I mean, that's great. That's really nice. And he can, well, he has one click forwards with the diaphragm joint, but mixed with the ab crunch. But you can of course mix that, reinforce it, or whatever you want to call it, with the diaphragm joint, and also going backwards. That's a great amount of range. I mean, this guy has the moves. He can kick forward a bit below 90 degrees. It's a bit of a shame, but that's the way the sculpt allows. No drop down mechanism, but I prefer it that way because that almost guarantees that the figure won't break on the, you know, the hips. He has a decent amount of what was the splits, you know. He has a very good splits, so that's good. Could be more, yes, but it's yeah, it's good for this figure, which is a bit larger. But I mean, we're talking about a martial artist, so he should be able actually to do the full splits. But still, it's a really nice range compared to some other figures who don't get even half as much. He has the thigh cuts, of course, double jointed pinless knees. The knee pads are not painted, I repeat. I don't know why that was allowed to happen, or if it was just saving money. I mean, it could be like that, or maybe they just really skipped that instruction. I don't know. He has very nice boot cuts, exactly where the boot is, or the boots are. The feet, they came frozen, but now you can see they have like 1.5 clicks forward, and yeah, can go all the way back, and have a not the best ankle P, but it's okay. It's a decent one. The only thing I don't like is like there's no friction in there, so you have to pose him well, otherwise he will just dive. But yeah, that's the articulation. The figure is looking great. Articulation is all there. I don't know if it's perfect, I won't say, but it feels like a really solid and great looking figure. It could become one of my favorites so far. I'm really glad I got this guy and finally took him out of the box. And there you have the Morphed Shredder next to Dr. Doom and the Silver Samurai, because I think this kind of match with the looks. I mean, Samurai and Dr. Doom just being all green and armory. By the way, if you have been watching this far, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, because as I always say, that really helps me a lot to grow this thing. I thank you in advance for your support. Adding to the green and purple vibe, here we have the Red Skull and Baron Simo, also looking great next to each other. Next to Cobra Commander, the Crimson Twins, and a Stormtrooper, a remnant Stormtrooper from the Black Series. And what's a Shredder figure without some Ninja Turtles to fight against? And I decided to bring in these ones from the Playmates line from 2012 or 11 or something like that. Back when the animated series came out, I really liked the design of these ones. I don't know, I mean, of course the articulation is not the best, but back then I thought they were stellar, and I still really enjoyed this figure. I hadn't taken them out for years, and I really enjoyed today just taking them out and kind of posing them with their weapons. And yeah, I think they just look great together. I like the idea of Shredder being that large, so it's like a super Shredder, and here you have the turtles like with a decent size difference, so that this feels like really they have to fight against the final boss kind of thing. Anyway, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I hope you did enjoy this review. Watch one of the suggested videos that are coming, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Ciao, ciao, ciao.